several of our founders that are on the call tonight, and I get the opportunity to introduce one of our founders. She's also the Chief Sales Officer, Danielle Mioli. Are you there?
I am here. Can you see and hear me?
Yes, I can. Take it away.
All right. I'm in Rhode Island right now. Couple-hour drive from my house in Connecticut. Oh, it's saying Gordon is requesting. Don't know who that is. So that's a no. We're recording, guys. So we'll have the recording for you shortly. So I want everyone here to say hi. We got a full house here in Rhode Island of beautiful people. There they are. Hold up. Still going, still going. So we're making it work here with the ring light, but I'm so excited to be here. This is our launch of our in-home experience for something tonight that I think is supremely special. So take a moment to scroll through if you have not. I want everyone that I see a lot of Aaron's house. I see Dawn. We have people from all over. If you want to take a second to just wave and tell us where you guys are. Aaron, if you want to unmute, what state are you in? We can unmute her, right? There we go.
We're in Greenwood, Indiana.
Indiana, very nice. Full house there. Hi, guys.
Full house.
All right, and we've got, let me see, I see a big group with Dawn Cordone. That was Dr. Christina Campbell that I saw. Oh, we got some more people in, a lot of people. Someone, Ashley and Rodney, make sure you guys keep letting people in. I want to make sure everyone gets in. We have a special guest tonight who's going to be speaking in a minute. Dawn Johnson has a group there if you want to unmute.
Hi, we're in North
Hi, guys. Fred and Missy Bailey have a group. I think you guys are in a, you guys are in some sort of, you're in some sort of restaurant. So we've got parties happening all over the United States and very soon Canada. And this is a live event for a reason, because we're really excited about what I have in my hands right here. And so let me tell you a quick story. I am the Chief Sales Officer and one of the founders of Awakened, but I'm really not into sales pitches. I've spent my life being very much into soft selling because I'm a believer in if you have something fabulous and people have a need and it meets that need, chances are they're going to want to do business with you. And I've built my whole career that way in 19 countries over the last 13 years. My business partners, not only my husband, my business partners, Rodney and Ashley, are out in, I think, Laguna right now at their home. And we started working together many, many years ago, 13 years ago in Rodney's company. And this is where I learned that I was able to really get away from the not working from home. I wanted to work from home. I was in corporate America. So Rodney had this great idea to share with Scott and I this amazing technology. And we have tonight the inventor of this technology. But 6 years ago, I was introduced to a product that I knew was going to change the world. And it went on into 11 countries. We did an incredible amount of sales. And that same gut feeling I had the minute I saw this technology called BrainTap. It's now called AwakendMind, powered by BrainTap. And we have not only the inventor and scientist, but a very amazing man here tonight to share how he brought this to life and what he's done. I've seen some of the biggest names out there in sports and doctors using this all over the world. But more importantly, our company now has the blessing of taking it out to the world, and it's taken off in a very viral way. So Dr. Porter, I would love for you to unmute. I did make you a co-host, so I believe you have a few slides because this special technology, light and sound therapy, is something I really want everyone to really listen tonight, because you guys are super blessed to be hearing about this before the rest of the world does. So I'm going to let you take it away.
Thank you, Danielle. I want to just talk a little bit. I've been thinking that what you're doing tonight actually is one of the best ways to get this out to the world, because kind of explaining, I'm going to spend some time explaining it to you, but it's like explaining atmosphere to a fish. We have to we have to get people to really try it. So if you're in a home right now or someone has the headset, you're going to get the benefit of actually putting it on and experience what I'm going to be talking about here today, because it's something that once you start using it and really feeling what it's like, you'll understand what I'm going to tell you about today, because most of you are experiencing, like most of America and the world is experiencing, high levels of stress. We need to have ways in which we lower that stress and get the brain back to what it's doing. So we're calling it AwakendMind, of course. And that's when I heard that, when I met with the founders and they started talking, it just resonated with me. My first book published in 1994 was called Awaken the Genius. So we're coming full circle here. And I do believe every one of you listening is a genius. So let's continue. And I'll tell you a little bit about myself as we go, but it's more about you and how you're going to benefit from the technology. I've been doing this since 1986. And this is the evolution of 16 different headsets that I've created over the years. And today you have in your hand what I would consider the state of the art in this program. So we're gonna get into it here. First of all, most of you sitting here have been through some things over the last 3 years, especially where your brain has been basically in a survivor mode. Things like being removed from sunlight, not being able to socialize. There's a lot of things that make our brain operate efficiently. And over the last 3 years, we've been shutting those down. And those that have found things like the products that they have at Awaken, and also what we do with BrainTap, you find that you can liberate that nervous system. But the problem is most people are stuck. And the reason I bring that up is most of you on this call probably, they say 93% of America needs to do something about their weight. In the past, one of my past businesses, I had a franchise for weight loss. And when they featured us in People magazine, they said, why are people losing weight? We didn't have the supplements even. We were just helping people with the mindset. And I told them it's not what people eat primarily, it's what's eating them. And so I just want to bring something to your attention. When you are stressed out, you have something in your body right now called your liver. Most people don't think about it too much. They might overdrink or overconsume sugar and things they don't know, but your liver literally has 25 grams of sugar just waiting to deploy. And it deploys every time you're stressed out. So one of my favorite articles on the internet that's been read by millions of people is called Why Stress is More Fattening Than Chocolate. Because if you don't do something about your stress, your body will not metabolize and digest the food you're consuming, because our body is designed to burn fat. But if you're eating sugar, as we all know, when we buy it in a can, box, or wrapper, that's difficult. But most people don't realize you are creating a lot of sugar. With our technology world that we live in, the average person looks at their phone 300 times a day. And each time you do that, you have a response in the nervous system that can trigger this release of sugar. What happens then is the pancreas kicks in and you start to produce, basically you start to produce fat so you can store that sugar so you won't get toxemity. So we're going to work on that. So with the AwakendMind product, when you're using it, you're not just laying there doing nothing. I'm going to go into a little bit about the science, but it's called frequency following response. So our body genetically is always mirroring its environment. There's something called mirror neurons. So we need to create an environment that's relaxing, that you can work with your body and mind and get your body to work for you. So first thing we need to do is shut off your own body's production of sugar so that you can start to operate the way you were intended. Now, once you start doing that, of course, then you get into what we call the thrive state. The thrive state is when your body and metabolism really get tuned up. Now, when you're eating healthy foods, for those of you that have heard me speak before, you know that number one thing you have to do for your brain health is eat really good nutrition or do nootropics that are going to feed the brain. Because your brain, you can't expect a master builder to build the house without the right materials. So we have to get the materials in there, but then we have to set the, just like they would say, you got to have a good foundation. You have to move and breathe. So you have to do something to do that. And then number three, we have to get some kind of brain fitness. So think what I'm talking about here. Just like most of you know, you got to get out there and do some kind of physical fitness. What we have with AwakendMind is a way you can do brain fitness from the comfort of your own home. And the nice thing is every member of your family can use this device, and it's under the same subscription. So you have the same, it's something that's better. You can't really split up a supplement. You have to each take your own supplement, but with the BrainTap, with the AwakendMind, you can do that. Now, one of the things I tell people all the time when I'm speaking, I'm here in California right now speaking at a doctor's conference. So I always tell them, I don't need you to believe what I'm going to tell you. Belief is for Sunday mornings. This is fact. What I'm going to share with you is all backed by science. So we have a lot of universities that work with us. And these universities right now, all the ones I'm showing you on the screen are doing research right this very moment. In fact, I just got a notice that in India, with a group in Bhopal called AIMS India, the All Indian Institute of Medical Sciences. That's like MIT, but in India. And we just got voted Researchers of the Year, and they did it with BrainTap. So when we talk about the awakened mind, it's getting so many things. One of the research projects we just finished in Brazil, we're now doing one on Parkinson's, but the one we just finished, BrainTap, the awakened mind product, actually beat out opioids in 3 different studies. Now, we can't claim that, but what we can say if somebody's in pain is we can say, hey, why don't you go ahead and try it for a little bit and see what happens? Because if they try it, they're going to find out that in the brain state, you only feel pain when you're in a awakened state. So if we can increase those other brainwaves, which I'm going to talk about in just a moment, we can help people to liberate their body. And just from a personal perspective myself, my dad was a leader of a meditation called the Silva Method. And he learned that because he was a chronic alcoholic. And the church members came over and they said, Michael, we're going to teach you how to relax. And when my dad took that training, he never drank again. And then he trained, of course, all the kids. There were 9 of us in our family. And so I'm kind of carrying on my dad's kind of legacy, if you will. We used to go around and do seminars in Lower Michigan, twice a month we'd be out there doing seminars. And he was teaching people to do the same thing, because even back then in the 70s, we thought we were stressed then. Of course, today we wake up in the morning and there's even more stress that we're under. So we have to have a way to handle it. What I'm going to encourage everybody listening is you have to have a tool to handle this, because you can pray that your stress leaves, but the reality is that you need to expand your capacity. I always tell people, don't pray to God to get rid of your stress. Pray to give you the capacity to handle it. Because in this world today, we need people that can handle and manage stress at the highest level, because people are being manipulated because they're in a fear state, a stress state, and that drives them to eat inappropriate foods, do inappropriate things. And I think once we get our body handled, our physiology, then we can help curb this mental tsunami that's going on with people committing suicides and stressed out and anxiety and dementia and things of that nature. And I saw some of the people in the room I know are probably around my age and a little older. We also did a dementia study that we took every woman in the study from 55 to 65 years old off dementia in 6 weeks. And we created what's called neuroplasticity, which means energy in the brain. Now that group, we've been following them. They've maintained that. In fact, they've even improved it up to 42% neuroplasticity, which means they have energy in the brain. And this comes in the form of brain fitness. Just like if you go to the gym, you're going to build muscle. When you use the awakened mind, you're going to build neuroplasticity, which is super important. And you'll learn more about that as we do different events and you hear about what's going on. Now, what's doing this? The science behind it is called frequency following response. So most of you have been to the ocean or a lake or a stream, and when you sit next to it, you get relaxed. Well, the reason for that is that ocean has an evoked potential of 10 hertz. Our body has mirror neurons. As you're sitting in that group, all of you that are in the room together, you're actually, science has now shown that we do something through biophotic exchange, which means we resonate and vibrate together. This is not a metaphysical concept anymore. This is scientifically proven. So that's why if you have 5 people that you're hanging out with, and those 5 people are all succeeding, you could be the 6th person. If you're hanging around 5 people that are on a path to failure, like let's say you're hanging around 5 alcoholics, you're probably going to become the 6th alcoholic, because those people are actually influencing you at a subconscious level, not just a conscious level, but a subconscious level. So we want to be around gainers, not drainers. And so when you get out in nature and you start relaxing, this 10 hertz frequency puts you into a state called alpha. That's where you naturally become more intuitive, more creative, and you have breakthroughs. Now, most people will think about meditation. They think they got to go to the mountaintops. And I still remember in Ames, Bhopal, when I first met Dr. Varun, the one who got the award with me, he said, Dr. Porter, you're cheating. These people spend 30 years meditating to get the kind of results that you showed in your brain scans. And I said, Varun, have you ever meditated to a candle? And he said, yes. I said, well, you're cheating. He says, what do you mean? A candle or a fire burns at 10 hertz frequency. Most of you have probably had an experience where you were mesmerized by a fire on a camping trip or with a significant other. That's because your brain, those mirror neurons in the brain, actually will mirror the flickering light of the flame. Now, what we did is we took that same technology. Once there was technology that could mirror that flickering response, we chose LEDs because we could specifically get them to flicker at the right frequency. So when we're meditating, and I also said, Brune, have you ever meditated in the Himalayas? Because, you know, this is where you see all the gurus meditating. He says, oh yeah, I go up there. And I said, well, you know, you're cheating. He said, what do you mean? I said, the earth itself has frequencies at any place on earth that you're at. The earth actually has an evoked potential of 0.5 to 100 hertz frequencies. We call these earth frequencies. And when our body can manipulate and honor those frequencies, for instance, if we're in the mountains, we're going to start to produce more of those brain waves called theta. They're going to produce more GABA. And by the way, your brain is producing these neurotransmitters or not producing them all the time. So if you don't get these different brainwave training states, you don't have the neurotransmitters to make the right decisions at the right time. And what's going to happen is you're going to have a mental health disorder. Now, I believe, my background's psychology, but I believe the problem we have out there in the world with the mental dysfunction that's happening right now with everybody just stressed out and anxious and all of this is more of a physiological problem because they don't know how to get their body moving again. And the brain and body need to move. We know that exercise produces neuroplasticity as well. But unfortunately, most people are hanging around in busy cities and their brain is working at the level of beta. Now, beta is the only brain wave that you feel pain in. So if we can encourage the brain through the AwakendMind process, which we know, I can guarantee you, I've done study after study. In fact, we did a study with 1,000 people, and 1,000 people that were on the technology, not the one that we have today. This was done years ago in Arizona. We took 30 chiropractic offices, and we measured everyone's brain as they were coming in. And what we did was we found out that 65% of those people actually had followed the algorithm the very first time. So if you're in a group tonight, there's a good chance you're going to experience that deep relaxation, that algorithm right now today. It takes no practice. The second time that they did it, we got 85% of them. By the third time they came in and they used the light and sound and the vibration technology, they were then, we call it brainwave entrainment. By the time the third session, 1,000 people out of 1,000 were following the algorithm. So think about it like a training at the gym. The first time through, maybe you don't do the workout the right way. The second time through, you're a little bit better. The third time through, you've mastered it. Well, this, all you have to do is kick back. They're gonna explain to you, you're gonna have your eyes closed. The light is going to work through the eyelids. It's called a frequency following response, remember. And your eyes are closed though, because your eyes are going to be attracted to the flickering response. Cranial nerve 2 actually is going to attract it, and it's going to tune the brain to that frequency. Your body is going to believe you're either sitting by the ocean or sitting on a mountaintop, because everything that we do through our perception of what sight, sound, and experience is all really light, sound, and vibration. Everything you're seeing in the world around you is actually flickering and vibrating and teeming with energy. And so our brain is interpreting it. So we're going to use the same method. This is all natural. This is the way the brain does it anyway. We're just setting the frequency so that your brain follows that frequency and puts you into the right brain state so you can get the results you want. And now when you're in that state, you're in a state called hypermnesia. What hypermnesia means is super memory. So if you want to learn a new skill, like when Tom Brady uses it, he uses it to recover. When you see the other stars that are out there using it, I mean, we have so many people using it today, and I get blown away every time that the person who, I was here in California meeting with some people at Netflix, and there's a lot of the people in that industry using it between scenes to recover and recharge. And I said, well, why don't you put it on TV? You know, don't just use it in the back room, in the green room, put it out there. And so hopefully you're going to start seeing it on more TV shows, because I met 3 producers this week that all are using it for themselves, and they're using it to calm down their actors and actresses. So we're going to get more and more of this, because this is the time right now. We're in the age of the brain. I mean, when I first got in this business, nobody believed the brain could change. Now we all know that we can change. If we change our mindset, we could do the right physical activities, we're going to change the way it works. Now, this is the number one reason that you should really thank the person who brought you to this meeting, because today is an auspicious day for you. You're going to learn that you can actually begin to open up a system that up before 2016, the medical community didn't even know existed. It's called the glial lymphomic system. This is the system that detoxes the brain. You can't buy a supplement that does this. You can't do an activity that does this. You can only sleep to get this, or you can do what we're going to do with the AwakendMind. We're going to train the brain to go to sleep. Once you train the brain, and those of you that have smartwatches or ways to measure your sleep, tonight, 93% of the people that will experience this the very first time will have their best night's sleep they've had in months, maybe even years. Some people tell us they can't remember when they slept that well, because your brain only needs to offload that stress once. And then if you do it again, especially if you do it once a day, but as long as you do it about every 3 days, your body will learn to mitigate the stress, the anxiety that builds up in the system. Think of your nervous system like a battery that charges. And when you get stressed out, you overcharge the battery. And then when you go to lay down to sleep, you have too much energy. Well, we're going to teach you how to ground that energy so that you can sleep deep and go through the natural sleep cycles. Now, you might be wondering, what is this glial lymphomic system? Some of you might have actually woke up in the middle of the night and had an experience where you had sleep paralysis, they call it. If you wake up during sleep paralysis, you woke up in the middle of that cleaning cycle. It's totally natural. You're not going crazy. Nobody's trying to get you. This is what the body does every night. And if you're healthy, it actually does it for about an hour. So, but it doesn't do it all at one time. So you go through cycles. As you're going through those cycles in the deep state of relaxation and sleep, your body is producing all the neurotransmitters you need for the next day. So you're activating the world's greatest pharmacy. It's not the one that's on the corner drugstore. The world's greatest pharmacy is between your ears. The problem is that most people wait for something else to trigger it. And I'll only use the negative example because it makes sense. You could be feeling extremely good. Everything's going your way, and you turn on the news. Well, what happens? The news is designed to put you into a state of fear and anxiety and stress. And it's just like what happens on the highway when there's an accident. People slow down, they want to look. They just want viewers so they can sell advertising. The reality is that we need to tune into our own news and start making news ourselves that's healthy and happy, and then we'll start sleeping better. So I recommend, obviously, you'll hear me talk, I don't recommend watching the news right before bed. You can look at it or read about it earlier in the day so your body can regulate out of that stress. Now, when we think about why would you want to do this? Most people invest a lot in their homes, they invest a lot in their cars, they invest a lot in their family, but they forget about themselves. Each one of you, once you do this, you're going to be your own best caregiver, because you have to take care of yourself. But in business, whether you're going to do this as a business or for your personal self, your investment is you. And when we had our franchise company, my motto was that we were a gateway drug to the self-help industry, because we could help people through their pain. And once they got through their pain, they realized, hey, I have a pretty powerful mind. I can do incredible things. Well, with the AwakendMind, we have over 2,000 sessions you're going to have access to. If you want to improve your golf game, we got that. If you're going through menopause, we have Mind Over Menopause. We have, I don't think there's something you could think of that we haven't done. I've been doing this for almost 40 years. And we're always creating new things that you'll have available too as we create them. So when you invest between your ears also, it's going to bring you such a return on that investment, because as you look around the room that you're in, or you're looking at the screen at who's here, those people that are successful in business aren't much different than you physiologically. We have 2 eyes, 2 ears, we have a mouth, we digest food, we go to work, we get up, whatever we do. What's the difference is their mindset. And I still do this every day. So I'm always blown away when I'm doing a TV or radio interview and they say, do you do it? And I haven't missed a day since 1986, because everybody has stress. And in our bigger talks, sometimes I will show a screen that shows what happens when you're flying on an airplane, because just that alone disrupts your nervous system so severely. But if you got a bad phone call, or you got something happened to you, and then you've got to go in to talk to somebody, or you want to have a nice meal with your significant other, but you're stressed out, it's going to interfere with your life. It's going to interfere with your joy and your happiness and your success. We all respond better and think better when we have less stress. So I just want you to understand that this is an investment, not only for you though. The nice thing is it's good for your family. If you have a family member and they do it, they're gonna feel good almost immediately. I would say 90% of the people feel good right away. They don't need to have any other validation. They just go, wow, what happened to all my stress? It's gone. Now you think about doing that once a day. Now you're basically tuning up your brain the same way you would tune up your automobile and keep it running at the highest level of efficiency. I do, it's sometimes I will show, we also did a peak performance study. I'm just going to mention that, and then I'm going to turn it back over to the team here. In the peak performance study that we did, we actually showed, these were the peak performers at Google. So when you think about what these people were doing, these were the top 1%. And you'd think they have it all going because you look at somebody who's successful and you think, wow, these people are great. What we found out was when they used the 20-minute session in the middle of the day, that's all we told them to do, one time a day, 20 minutes. They improved their depression score by 70%. They improved their happiness score by 43%. They actually became 19% more efficient. And these were the top 1%ers. So even the top 1%ers can tune up their brain. So that's where I'm at. I'm going to turn it back over to Awaken Nation, whoever's going to go next. I'll be sticking around. So if you have any questions for me.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Porter. So I'm actually going to bring on my business partners in a minute, but I did want to share, I could listen to Dr. Porter all night. I know a lot of you watching said that. More importantly, Scott and I have been using the headset for several months now. It has had an extraordinary effect on both of us. And we use it several times a day together as best we can and do our sessions. And I have to say, we were pretty skeptical, Dr. Porter. And I say that because I want people to know it's not one of these things, well, oh, it's our company and we just want to put something on the market. This is something that is so near and dear to my heart now and to Scott's. It's done so much for my 74-year-old mom who's having lots of health issues. So guys, remember, Mikey likes it. Well, if Christine likes it, and she's actually giving us great feedback, she might be on tonight, but she's had an extraordinary result. Just in 2 weeks now, she's using it twice a day. Our sons are using it. We have 6 children combined. We have 2 of our children using it that are not in college yet, that both need it for different reasons. And we're just seeing an impact that really, truly, as a mom, warms my heart and as a daughter. So that's why I'm so passionate about getting this out to the world. I know you've dedicated 40 years to it, but my mission and our mission is to get this out to the entire world. And you know what we're capable of, and that's what we're going to do. So really excited to be here with you tonight on our first night doing this, and we're going to take it out to the whole world. So I'm going to bring on Rodney and Ashley, and Rodney and Ash want to just share a second, and then we're going to turn it over so we can all be with our guests and hang out and have a good time. But thank you again, Dr. Porter, and Rodney and Ashley, take it away.
Yeah, well, I agree. Whenever we hear Dr. Porter speak, we get so excited. And I think that after hearing him, you can kind of see why, because at Awakened, we're really on a mission. That's why we call ourselves Awakened, because we're on a mission to wake people up and help you guys remember just how powerful you are. Dr. Porter just went over so much science that proves that you were created to thrive. Your body was created to thrive. So it's time to thrive. And at Awakened, we pair revolutionary products with life-changing programs, and then this amazing technology to help you really tap into your immense power and reach your highest potential. So we're really so glad you are all here so you can experience AwakendMind for yourself. I have a very similar story to Danielle. We were a little skeptical as well. And so Dr. Porter actually flew out to our house, and we were able to do a before test, a check that shows us kind of where our body was at. And after one session, our results just were incredible. Like the change after one session. And what really excited me was then I did AwakendMind sessions every day for 30 days. And my results after 30 days, my before results became my after results. So I was getting better and better. My neurological markers were getting better. My neurons were firing faster. I went from fat storing mode to fat burning mode. So there is so much. We're just so excited about this technology, and we're really excited for you guys to experience it for yourselves.
Yeah, it's a really amazing opportunity, and it's it is like Dr. Porter said, it's the technology with the products. And I've never seen anything that is a combination of this before. I'll let the hosts explain it to you. We're so grateful that you've all spent some time with us. And thank you so much, Dr. Porter. That was an amazing overview. So thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody.